Should you try New Game Plus and Grounded? That's what I'm going to help you answer in this video. I'm going to say straight up front that if you enjoyed the game, I believe everyone should try New Game Plus, but let me tell you the reasons why you might want to try it if you need some convincing. First and foremost, there's a couple of achievements that you must play New Game Plus in order to be able to unlock. The first is going to be activating the remixer, which you can do once you've completed the story and beaten some of the optional bosses. Once you activate the remixer, it will reset your world, put you in the New Game Plus world, unlock that achievement. There's another achievement that involves having to complete the story again. So completing the story again will unlock another achievement, which if you're an achievement hunter, that's something you're going to want to do. Nextly is going to be, there's going to be map changes. So you'll notice over here, there's actually a infused creature over here. That's going to be an infused orb weaver. I'm going to fight this guy. Actually, I might use the acid edge. Because my acid edge, let's see what we got here. I'll talk about these things in just a second. This gives me extra orb weaver damage. We'll talk about the items in just a second after I fight this thing. But you'll notice there's infused creatures. The infused creatures are going to have way more health, and they're also going to have modifiers. Oops, I didn't think it was doing 30 attacks there, so I got hit. So this one actually, it looks like it explodes, maybe. So it's got more attack defense. It, I think, attacks faster or moves faster. This thing's quick. But you'll notice the health bar is the main thing. And what's going to happen is once I kill this creature, it's going to give me some special rewards here. This one's actually pretty easy, honestly. So, killed the Orb Weaver. Got myself an infused ooze and obviously the normal rewards, but I also got raw science. So killing infused creatures gives you raw science. You need raw science to unlock some new stuff, which I'll talk about in just a second. And did it drop anything? Gave me infused ooze. This is the stuff you need to upgrade your gear past level 9. So you can actually upgrade your gear past level 9 in New Game Plus. But in addition to that map change, having the random infused creatures around the map, the bosses are all infused. So every boss is going to be infused. So when you go into a boss fight, they're going to be infused, which means they should be a little bit tougher. It'll kind of depend on which boss it's going to be. So far in here, in this save, I fought the assistant manager and the infected ladybug and in the haze. And to be completely honest, I steamrolled both of them because I'm like over geared for them, right? I'm in tier 3 gear. I still have to fight the Broodmother. I've heard the Broodmother's not too bad in New Game Plus 1, but the other bosses in the upper yard might be a little bit harder depending on the gear you have and stuff like that. So it's going to depend on the creatures you fought. Honestly, most of the creatures I fought that were infused, there's an infused diving bell spider. I don't want to fight that because the koi fish is right next to it and it might end up eating me. But any infused creature gives you 3k raw science. So it's an easy way to farm raw science, which you'll need to buy, like I said, new stuff from the shop, which I'll talk about in a second. The other thing is going to be, there's going to be milk molars are going to be randomly scattered around the map. Instead of the original locations, all the regular milk molars, so the white ones, are there. You can get enough to max out your health, stamina, thirst regen, and health healing received again. So you're gonna, I think it's 70 something of them. And you notice I'm going over here to this flower pot because there just happened to be one that I missed so far that I didn't see over here. And I've cleared most of the lower yard. I've already been able to get enough to be able to max out my health and stamina. And you're gonna want to do that because the creature's health does scale up as you go through New Game Pluses. So you also notice all the upgrade rocks respawn as well. So everything that was on the map essentially respawns. The trinkets that were around the map, so the badges, the rotten gear will respawn. You can get that. And the cool thing is those things can have, the trinkets at least can definitely have some random modifiers. There's also going to be other map changes besides, so having the milk molars randomly around the map. And I think I heard there's something like over 200 locations, but there's only like 70 of them that you can, 70 something of them that you can find. So basically there's going to be like everyone's locations are going to be slightly different. So you're going to have to explore the entire map, which gives you a reason to explore again. But other map changes are going to include that there are going to be like tier 3 creatures. There's going to be creatures in places you wouldn't expect. So this is New Game Plus 1. I'm going to go over here and show you that there is in fact a roly-poly over here that I did see a minute ago when I was wandering around over here. So there's going to be a roly-poly down here somewhere. Why are you hiding? There's a roly-poly down here. There's actually a moth that spawns over here, and that's fantastic. If you need to farm moth parts, this moth that spawns right here is on the ground, and it's just super easy to farm it, which means you can get a lot of parts instead of having to go up on top of like the high spots where they're normally spawned to be able to farm their parts or wait for them to come out at night. So that's pretty cool. There's also, I believe, a green shield bug over here. I did notice that it seems like in not all of, but some of the spots where, is that the green shield bug or is that just a regular one? There is a green shield bug over here somewhere. That's just a regular stink bug. No way the ladybug, there it is right there. So you're gonna have tier 3 enemies down here, which could make the lower yard slightly harder, but honestly the balancing of the lower yard so far for me has been relatively easy. I honestly don't feel like I've been challenged that much by it. It feels like it's been pretty easy, which is, I guess, it should ramp up a little bit once I go to the lower yard and start fighting the tougher bosses. But in general, I have had a lot of fun exploring the map and getting some of the new stuff. So like I showed you, I'll show you some of the new items as I go over here. But if you're a completionist, you're gonna have to play through, I think, like into New Game Plus 4, I believe I think that's what it is. At least 3, but I think you have to get to the 4th one if you want to unlock all the new weapons and items that have been added to the game. So far, I was able to, and you can get you unlock them by raw science in the science shop, and a lot of them anyway. Some of them I think you unlock from, there's other ways, there's others you have to unlock by doing stuff with the ant queens and stuff like that, and there may be some others, but most of the new ones you unlock from the science shop. And the ones in the tier 1 cost 25k raw science. So there was 4 of them, I think, and it was like 100k raw science. The yoking station was 50k, so that was 150k raw science. And then there was a burgle bundle, which was another 50k. So I think it was like a total of like 200k raw science, which sounds like a lot, but you get 3,000 raw science from killing any infused creature. That means whether it's a orb weaver, which in that case was still easy to kill, or a lawn mite, which is relative, even though they have a big health bar, they're pretty easy to kill. And they're not very dangerous to you most of the time. I mean, I guess they could have like some crazy modifiers that could make them very dangerous, but I've not run into any that are super dangerous so far. So farming raw science has been easy. Now, I will say I'm recording this in the public test server for 1.4.7, the update that's coming, that is supposed to be balancing this. And I've seen conversations that they're probably going to reduce the amount of raw science you actually get from certain things, specifically like bosses, because the bosses currently have 30,000 raw science. I got 30,000 for the infected ladybug and 30,000 for the assistant manager, which I thought were pretty excessive considering how easy they were, and kind of not balanced considering like the infected broodmother gives the same amount. So why would I kill the infected broodmother if I could just kill the easy bosses? Like I'd rather kill the regular broodmother 30 times than kill the infected broodmother 30 times and get the same amount of raw science. So they're going to do some balancing on that, but you shouldn't have any trouble unlocking things, especially if you come into New Game Plus with raw science. I came in with only 25,000. Now I still haven't done all the apprentice quests, so that's given me some. But there's also raw science randomly scattered, spawned around the map. I noticed that it seemed to be any place that I found like a scabby, there was raw science there if I already found the scabby. I don't know if that's 100% of the time, but I've purchased everything from the shop and I still have 78,000 left over, and I haven't even touched the upper yard. Really, I went up there briefly and I found like a milk molar, I think, but other than that I have not really touched the upper yard, and I'm going to end up having hundreds of thousands of raw science, which can be useful because you can use it to dupe items that you might need. But the other things that are cool are going to be the trinkets. So you'll see here that there's trinkets like this. When you do that, you have to do the story again, you're going to get a charm from turning in like the super chips. So the one that I was using, the one for the pond is going to have veteran diver on it, and then the second one I think is random. I got lucky and got max health. I guess that's a pretty good extra. But veteran diver, what that does is, and I guess I could just show you real quick. This is actually insane. When I got this, I was like, I think my game bugged out. I think my game's broken. So if I go in the water right now, you'll notice I have a 40-second oxygen bar. If I come out and equip this charm, it's going to give me veteran diver. There's no oxygen bar. I can hold my breath underwater infinitely, which is actually insane. The one for the haze gives you 100% immunity to the haze damage or to gas damage. So that'll let you go through the haze without having to worry about it. The one for the black ant charm, the haze has the gas guard and then a random one here. The black anthill one gives you dust guard, which means that'll be useful for fighting. You can use that against moths. I believe moths do dust damage, but definitely termites and dust mites. It would have been better if this would have had like termite damage on it, but it is what it is. Like this alone is just fantastic. It means you're not going to be slowed by the dust attacks and stuff like that, which is awesome. And then there is one more. Where did I put that one? I think I might have put it in here. Did I put it in here? Yeah, we got the one from the hedge, fall immunity. You take 0 fall damage. But you also notice there's some other resources in here that you get. You're going to get science crinkles from tier 1 enemies as a chance. And you also get these whenever you, what is it? When you go and loot things like the treasure. I think the treasure chests seem to have these in them. Was it the treasure chest? Or maybe this could be the, I think maybe it's a chance that I got these in multiple ways. I think looting stuff gave them to me. Maybe like looting chests and stuff like that. But I also believe killing, yeah, like the chest, there's actually the chest that you find like in the hedge lab will have the regular white chests that you would find in the labs and stuff will have these in them. But there may be a chance that the creatures drop them. I know this was dropped from a creature. So anyway, these have the tier 1s or the science crinkles. They have 1 modifier on them. You'll notice I have max health, wolf spider, black ant damage. I'm probably not going to keep most of these. I'm going to end up deduping them because you need that to upgrade your gear. But there's also tier 2s, the science waffles. These are going to have 2 of them on there. So like using this with the acid edge, which is the sour weapon, and then using it against orb weavers, that's why I just slaughtered that orb weaver over there that was infused. It was super easy. There's also a tier 3, I think it's the science cones, and they can have 3 of them on there. And then there's also going to be things like the rotten berry charm has an extra bonus on it. The badges have extra bonuses on them. So example here being the compliance badge. This one has wasp queen damage. So if I was a master at parrying, which I would say I'm okay at parrying, but it's been a while, so I got to knock the rust off. Using this against the wasp queen might make that fight easier. So there's just kind of stuff like that where you're getting extra bonuses on top of the gear. And it'll allow you to have like some crazy builds, especially as you get further into New Game Plus, because you can actually craft your own and get between 1 and 3 modifiers on it, depending on which New Game Plus you're in. Pushing the New Game Plus is also going to be worthwhile because, like I said, there's going to be extra items. I'm going to go over here to the science shop real quick and show you what's available in there. I've already bought the ones that were in New Game Plus 1, which I could show you in the crafting menu. They actually look pretty cool. There's a couple different weapons, but there's also some items you can purchase. So in New Game Plus 1, you have to purchase the yoking station, which is it's basically like it's like the smithing station, but it's for yoking items, which lets you go above level 9 to level 15. Once this update drops, you'll be able to upgrade your armor and weapons to level 15. Prior to this update, you can only do your weapons. If I go over here to the science shop, and you'll notice these are all here when you unlock New Game Plus. It'll show you all the ones you have that you can get. But there was a couple in tier 1. The Burgle bundle here, I've already purchased this. This gives you a head piece of armor, which is pretty cool. And then the Burgle flipper, which is a weapon. But then you'll notice here there's a couple new weapons. There's Blazing Edge, Pepper Flake, Pucker Thumper, Tingle Tongue, and so on and so forth. You'll also be able to get teleporters in New Game Plus 2, and you can purchase these infinitely. I think it's something like 50k per pair. So that's why you would need a bunch of raw science. And there's more weapons in tier 3 here. And then the other thing's going to be you can use your milk, like you can get more milk molars like I showed you. So I'll probably do this so I don't have to. I think eventually you can get to the point where you literally don't have to eat or drink anymore because this is so low. But you're going to want to scale your max health and stamina because the creatures they will infinitely scale as you go through New Game Pluses. Each New Game Plus will make them harder. But your weapons and armor can only go to level 15, which means you will be capped on damage and damage resistance, which means you're going to have to perfect block, and it's going to take you a lot longer to kill creatures in the higher New Game Pluses. But if I go to the crafting menu, and I'll show you some of the weapons. Let me see, where are they? The weapons I purchased are going to be the Sour Katanga. So this is basically like the Spicy Coltana, but it's sour, which is pretty cool. The Breath Slayer, which is going to be a sword that has the mint damage on it. The Frosted Flake, which is an axe that has mint damage on it. The Jalapeno, which is I guess this is a club that has, it's a club that has spicy damage on it. So that was pretty cool. And you saw the other weapons over there. So there's going to be some other weapons to try out, so you could try out some different builds. But overall, I think, like I said, I think New Game Plus is definitely worth trying, at least playing through the first one to get a feel for it. Beyond that, I think it's going to be up to the individual player. It's really up to you how far you push yourself. Overall, I guess to sum it up, I think New Game Plus was a great addition to the game. It gives people that want to play kind of like push the limits on how hard the game can be. It'll give them a reason to keep playing and give them a challenge. For everybody else, it'll give you a fresh experience by going through the story at least one more time instead of starting over and just playing the same story over and over again where everything's in the exact same spot, including items and everything like that. So that's a pretty cool thing for pretty much everybody. And then with all the new trinkets, all the new the new things you can get, it'll just give you a reason to farm creatures, to fight things, and I think it's just overall good. Those are my thoughts on New Game Plus. Hopefully it'll help you make a decision on whether or not you want to jump into it. Now would be a great time to jump into it because they're doing some rebalancing, and I feel like it'll probably be in the best state it's been in since it's been added. Yeah, you can jump into it and have fun with it. So anyway, if you found this video informative, make sure to hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.